Daniel here for Tabletop for One, and my first impressions after 4 plays of After Us. Now, After Us is designed by Florian Sirieix and published by Pandasaurus Games, and they provided me with a review copy. So take that into consideration when I'm giving you my impressions here. Now, they gave me a review copy to make a tutorial solo playthrough video and nothing else. I just wanted to give you my impressions after several plays of this game. And so in After Us, if you haven't seen my playthrough, it is a deck building, engine building kind of game where you are playing the leader of an ape tribe. So you are an ape, the humans have died off, and you are evolving and learning about the technology that the humans have left behind, trying to harness the technology and evolve your tribe to be the best tribe in the land. Now in the solo mode, you're going to be playing against the AI, the king of the apes, as an intense battle between the two tribes to try and rule one over the other. This, of course, is a points-based game, and it's a race to 80 points, so whoever reaches that first will win the game. All right, so let's talk about how the game plays. In this game, you're going to be drawing 4 cards, and you place these cards out in a row in front of you, and you're going to be placing them side by side so that they line up so that these little frames give you bonuses or give you opportunities to exchange one resource for another. And so right off the bat, it's an interesting little mechanism that I haven't seen before. And I was really interested in it when I first saw pictures of the game. It looked really neat, and I wasn't sure how it was going to play out. And after you've played your cards, then you're going to decide which cards you want to buy in the market. You'll choose an action based on the type of cards you want to buy. And then you'll buy those cards, you'll gain bonuses and do various bonus actions. You have the opportunity to get rid of cards to gain extra energy. Use that energy to activate different tech abilities that give you bonuses. Meanwhile, the AI is doing all those things as well. But before we talk about the thoughts that I have on the different ways you play the game, I want to talk about what the AI does and how it works and how you play the game with the AI. So the AI is very simple. You're going to draw its 4 cards. It tells you which resources it's going to take in the upper right hand corner. Oftentimes it'll gain points if it has any non-tamarind ape cards in its draw pile, and so it'll gain a lot of points that way. That's going to push the AI up the track as fast as possible. Now the AI is gaining resources, but you have this opportunity to take the resources from it. See, when you gain resources at any time during your turn, you actually take them from the AI. I love that. That is a fantastic idea. It really gives you this interesting decision making where you're having to choose which resources you're going to let the AI have this turn and which ones you want to take it away. You can try and make it so it can't buy a level 2 card, or maybe even possibly not buy a level 1 card at all, or you can narrow its focus and let it only buy one kind of card. But of course, you got to be careful with that, because the more you focus on the AI, the less you're focused on what you're trying to accomplish and move up on the scoreboard and trying to hit that 80 points. And the AI itself will use technology as well. It uses the computer. It's the only technology it'll use. But every time it uses the computer, it gains 5 points. And so you can try and prevent that by stealing its energy. And so then I'm going to talk about the card play. Okay, the card play is excellent. I love this idea of playing the cards side by side, sequencing them in the way that works for you to where you're gaining the resources that you want, taking them from the AI, and being able to convert resources to do these extra abilities, gaining all sorts of points. The card choices you have are really interesting. There's 4 types of apes that you can buy cards from, and they each do different things. One focuses on points, one focuses on energy, one focuses on rage, which rage lets you get rid of cards in your deck. And the last one focuses on a repeat action, where it lets you repeat a frame that you've used before. And so when you're buying these cards, you have to choose which ones you want to go into your deck. You don't ever see the cards. So this is an interesting thing. When you buy a card, you don't know what's on that card until you buy it. That may seem like a deal breaker, right? It's like, why am I buying this card if I can't see it, right? Well, the real interesting thing is like, you probably won't know how you're going to use that card until you play it. So knowing what information is on there ahead of time really doesn't matter. It really only matters when you play that card and how it lines up with the rest of your cards. I think they did it this way to eliminate some sort of, over analyzing the situation, slowing the game down as you're looking at the cards available. And if you can see what cards offer, you might spend more time trying to figure out how am I going to use that in my deck, when really you don't even need to know that until you actually play the cards. So I get why the cards are all face down and you don't know what they are. At least you know what kind of card it is, the focus on the points or the energy or whatever. So it does give you enough information to make an educated decision on what you're going to buy, and knowing that later on you can use that for that specific kind of bonus. Now, there's one other thing I want to mention about the card play and the engine building. It's really interesting how this works. You don't realize how much your engine builds until you start swimming in resources. It's weird because when you play these cards out, like your first 4 cards of the first turn of the game, right? And you only get, a handful of resources, it doesn't seem like the cards might really amount to much. But as you gain the new cards, the level 1 and the level 2 ape cards that you gain, they have more frames on them. And so you're able to complete more frames. And the next thing you know, you're swimming in resources. You've gotten a whole bunch of rage, or you've gotten a bunch of energy that you can use. And it just builds and builds. It doesn't really, like I said, on the cards itself, it doesn't look like it. But as you build your deck, it really plays out that way. And it's surprising. I just found it very surprising because you just really can't see it at a glance until it just happens. And so this race, right? This race to 80 points, it's a very challenging race. I have not yet beat the game. I have not beat the AI. Now, the designer on the forums has suggested that it's possible, that he's done it himself. And I believe him. It's really been close. I think I had one time where I was in 7-point difference of the AI. So one more turn I might have won, but the AI just beat me out. And so I think it's possible. It's really difficult. See, the AI is just super challenging. Anytime it plays a level 1 or a level 2 non-Tamarin card, it gains 3 or 6 points. If it plays 3 of those cards in one turn, you're talking double digits worth of points, and that jumps up the track so quickly. I've seen it happen where the AI is taking upwards of 15 to 18 points in just one turn, and that's a lot of points. And so it's very difficult to counter that. And so you really have to be efficient with all your actions, with all your resources, making sure you're making the right decisions. And so that's where that challenge is. And I like that challenge. I keep wanting to play this because I want to beat the AI. Like, I know it's possible, I feel it's possible, and I want to be able to complete it. Now, the one thing I want to say about this game that is a con, right? It's not a very deep game. All right, so this game is not one where you're gonna find, these great strategies after multiple plays. I just don't see that. I think you'll find some interesting synergies with the various tech abilities, since you only get 3 techs per game. But all in all, you're not gonna see much divergence from the gameplay. You're gonna play the game very similarly. No, it doesn't mean you're gonna always buy the same kind of cards, because you may focus on a point gaining deck or an energy gaining deck or a balanced deck. So there are some options there. I just don't see a lot of depth here. But for whatever reason, even without the depth, right, I just keep going back to it. I just keep wanting to play it. I keep wanting to beat it. It's a fairly quick game. I would say it's about 45 minutes, and it's not too hard to get into. It's not a very complex game. But that card play is just really interesting. And when you find yourself neck and neck with the AI on points, it really feels achievable. And I just, like I said, I just keep going back for more. I don't know what else to say. And so there you have it. That was my first impressions after 4 plays of After Us. This game is a very good game. I very much enjoy it. I think it's achievable to win the game. I can't wait to win it. I don't know what I'll think about it after 10 plays if I can't beat it. I hope I can beat it by then. But for right now, I find it very enjoyable, and I keep coming back to it, and I keep wanting to play it again and again. So let me know what you think of the game in the comments, or ask me any questions you'd like. Please also like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, I have a link in the description. And I thank everyone who has supported me thus far. And I thank you very much for joining me on Tabletop for One. Have a great night.